Namaskar. Again here, I'm Sunita Agaralla, Dr. Sunita Agaralla, HOD, Department of Education, Dispur College, Guwahati, Assam. Friends, in the last video, we were discussing about the Indian philosophy of Indian educational philosophy, and we had discussed about the Vedic education. Today, we'll be talking about the second philosophy, which is known as the Buddhist philosophy. As we all know, when we talk about Buddhist philosophy, it is the philosophy given by Gautam Buddha. And Gautam Buddha was originally Prince Siddhartha, who had left his wife and son in search of truth. So when he was very young, he had gone out for the first time. He saw somebody who was sick. He saw a person who had died, a person who was suffering. So it started coming in his mind, why all this suffering? Why do people suffer? So for that, that could not make him sleep. And then one night he left his son and wife, and he left everything, the palace and everything, and he went out in search of truth. So he attained knowledge in a place of Bihar known as Gaya, under a tree. I think the place is now known as Bodh Gaya, which is a pilgrimage. His teaching gave birth to a new religion known as Buddhism. Usually we call it Buddhism, but some people argue that Buddhism is a philosophy. It is not a philosophy of life and not a religion. So, when you talk of any religion, Hindu also they say it is a philosophy of life. Islam also they say it's a philosophy of life. So every religion obviously is a philosophy of life. If we don't bind it in the narrow sense, if we take it in the broader sense, then religion itself is a philosophy of life. It tells us what type of life we should lead, what we should do in life, what we should not do in life. So obviously it is a philosophy of life. So let's try to understand about the teachings of Buddha, because the entire Buddhist philosophy of education, or you say the Buddhist system of education, it dependent on the teachings given by Gautam Buddha. So first he taught was we should be moral. He talked about morality, that is importance of good deeds in life. We must always do good in life. If you can, we can follow one principle. If you cannot do good to anybody, please don't do bad to anybody. Jodi karu bhal koriba nwara, karu apakar na koriba. Hum kisi ka upkar nahi kar sakte, to kisi ka bura bhi mat karo. Ye yadi hum maan ke chale, to it's morality. He also talked about middle path. Now Buddha never said that don't enjoy or don't live in luxury or something like that. But he always say avoid extreme form of austerity. Jahan aap sab tyag diye and you have nothing, and no, it's not like that. And then he also said that don't go for high level luxury where you don't do anything and you are very lazy. He also talked about that. So live in a middle path. Equality. There was no caste system in Buddhism. Whoever came, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, मेरे को बुद्धा की शरण में आना है, take me into your sharan. Whoever came to Buddha for his teachings or to join his sect, they didn't have any type of caste. Any caste you belong, once you are here, no caste, you all are equal. He also talked about ahimsa or non-violence. When he was talking about ahimsa, it was like don't even kill an ant, don't even kill a mosquito. It was not Gandhiji's non-violence. It is different type of, he's talking ahimsa, complete ahimsa. Kisi ki prati, even by mind, in your mind also, don't have any bad feelings for anybody. He was talking about ahimsa to that level. They were very, Gautam Buddha was always silent about the existence of God. He never said whether there is God, whether there is no God. He always gave a life. You lead a life like this, you will attain the truth. He never said whether there is God, whether there is no God. And he also didn't believe in idols. He never talked about it. But it's very interesting when you go to Buddhist monasteries, you see the idols of Buddha. It's their own belief. They did not believe in rituals. No, nothing. Koi puja, ye sab. They didn't believe in all this type of things. It was just follow a life of truth, study the text, follow it, lead a life according to the text, and then you attain moksha. They also talked about moksha. They also talked about nirvana. Then they believed in rebirth and karma. So this is something, most of the teachings you will see, they are very similar to the Vedic system also. They talked about rebirth and karma. So jaisa karma karoge, vaisa rebirth hoga. Okay. So he talked about good deeds. Now if you do good deeds, your next janam or the next birth will be happy birth. If you are having problem now and you know that it is because of my karmas of the past, so you understand that. With that understanding, if you do good now, you will have a better life in future. Now Buddha talks about four noble truths, four truths. Okay, this is where these are the truths he learned from his journey, or from the day when he went out for the first time and he saw people suffering and all those. So he said that all existence involves suffering. Everybody, every living being has to suffer, whether it is a tree or whether it is an animal or it is a human being. But in the human beings or in the animals, why do the suffering come? Suffering is caused by desire, especially the desire to existence or continuance. Now, I had seen in a t-shirt, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Same thing he's talking. All the suffering is because of the desires. We want something, we don't get it, and we feel sad. But he's telling that the biggest desire is the continuance, the desire to continue to live. We all know that is inevitable. Marna hi hai. Paida hue hain to marna hi hai. Mrityu is the satya, is the truth. But we don't accept it. We are like, what will happen when I die? What will happen to whom? My children, my family, to the world, to my business, to my this, to my that. We give so much of importance. We think, I'm so important. If I die, what will happen? Nothing will happen. Everything will run as it is running. For a few days, your family will cry. For at least 2 to 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. And then everything is finished. But we want to live. And this desire to keep on continuing to live, that causes a lot of sufferings in the human being. Now, if we want to suppress, if we want to come out of the suffering, then we have to suppress our desire. And how can we suppress our desire? He has given 8-fold paths. If we follow these 8 rules in our life, we will attain moksha. We will be above all sufferings in our life. Now let's see what are those 8-fold paths. Buddha, first thing he said, right belief or view. When we believe into something, it should be the correct one. We must have a correct view, right view of what we are talking. Have in your mind, when you are learning something, learn the good things. Right. What is right is right. So we must have the ability to judge or to distinguish or between the right and the wrong. Somebody who smokes, you talk to the person, he will say, what's wrong in smoking? According to me, it's right. But that's wrong by society. That's wrong because the society does not give permission to smoke. So we have to look into it and have beliefs of that type. Right resolve. We take so many resolutions. I'll do this, I'll do that. And especially on the 1st of January, we resolve so many things. 2nd of January, everything is finished. Okay. But here he takes, when you resolve something, when you want to do something, you are taking a promise, it should be the right one. Right speech. We all have, God has given us a mouth and a tongue. So it is said that when you hit somebody, even a great thing may break only one bone. But a small thing which has no bones, if misused, can break all your bones. So we should be careful when we speak. We should not speak something which hurts others. It should not be frivolous talk. ऐसे ही कुछ बोलते रहते हैं ना, पागल के जैसे बोलते रहते हैं. No, it should not be frivolous talk. We should know what to talk, when to talk, how to talk. We should know what words to use. Effective communication is anyway very important in our lives. So we should know. Then he talked about right behavior. We should know elders se kaise behave karna hai, young se kaise behave karna hai. Right occupation. None of the teachers, none of the gurus, none of the people in the past, they said that you should not earn money. It should be through right means. Earn however much you want to earn. Kaam karo or kamao, but not by killing other or not by doing something wrong. For everything, right effort should be made. We should have right contemplation. We should have right concentration. You must know where to contemplate your mind, what type of thoughts we must entertain. We have positive thoughts, we have negative thought, and we have waste thoughts. So if any negative, most of us, it is waste thoughts, most of the thoughts. If we write in a copy and for 2 or 3 minutes and see what thoughts are coming, we will feel, are we mad? So those are the type of thoughts we have. So he says that we should have the right kind of thoughts in our mind. So always try to have positive thoughts. If we have negative also, try to replace it with the positive. And last thing, we should have right concentration. We should know where to put our mind, where to involve our mind. Where? It should be in studies. It should be in reading the Vedas. It should be in reading the text. It should be in knowledge. It should be in knowing the people. It should be in experiences. Not wasting our time and going for something which is very, very illegal, which is very, very unsocial. So this was all 8 things he talked, where he says that if we follow these 8 things, nobody can stop us from having moksha. Nobody can stop us from having a good life. Nobody can stop us from becoming socially efficient. Nobody can stop us from becoming a good human being. And believe me, friends, you may be qualified to the highest, but if you are not a good human being, nobody will like you in the world. People may not be qualified, but there are people who will love like anything because they are good human beings. So basically, if I say what he was talking was to be a good human being. So thank you so much. In the next class, we will be talking about the Muslim system of education. Thank you.